President, distinguished colleagues, I'm Senator Natasha Akpoti, and I stand to raise a petition under Order 40. A petition may only be presented to the Senate by a senator who shall affix his or her name at the beginning thereof. The petition is in my name against the President of the Nigerian Senate, His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, for sexual harassment, abuse of office, and malicious obstruction of my legislative functions. You may recall, sir, that on Friday in Arise TV, I did make some statements. And I have decided to narrow these statements in a formal petition against the President of this Senate. So if it may please you, I would humbly step forward and lay this petition. Thank you.
You may proceed. Distinguished colleagues, this petition is hereby referred to the Committee on Code of Conduct, Ethics, and Public Petitions to revert to the Senate as soon as practicable.
Petition.
Any other petition? Yes.
You can see, you could almost feel the silence and also the humbleness in Akpabio, Senator Akpabio's face, body language, everything. Should they say he makes jokes about everything? Why the joke not call the joke now? You understand? And this is massive. As in Senator Natasha is saying, I'm not a walkover. I'm going to fight this through and put it out there, no matter the cost. When you're ready to stand and put everything on the line, when you're not afraid, when you say enough is enough, when you say no matter how you people want it, let's get it done, no matter the harassment, no matter how many of you that you come and attack me, I'm going to stand and stand on. This is it. I tell you, this is it. And she has put it on record. And this is not merely he said, she said, I said, she said. She has come out there. She has put out the petition against him. She has put her name on it. And it's going to go into the records. You understand? It's going to be documented, and it has to be followed. And another thing that we are also asking for, there must be independent inquiry into this case. This is not something that the Senate should just be allowed to gloss over, because the Senate, with the number of people that have come out of the Senate, that have spoken publicly on the issue, both the floor members and the leadership of the Senate, they have shown their bias, they have shown how they are gang up against Senator Natasha. So one would not expect to see justice coming from there. This is something that has to be followed. The whole world is watching over this. Nigeria is a country that has very small representation of women in parliament, where places like Rwanda are talking of over 60% of women in parliament. Places like Nigeria are talking less than 5%, about 4-point-something% in parliament, and yet there's a whole lot of things that are stacked up against them. This is the time we need to see rule of law. We need to see rule of law. We need to see rule of law. This is not about an individual. It's not about the office that you occupy. We must have, if we want Nigeria to work, we must have a country whereby people are not allowed to get away with anything wrong that they do. If we continue to have that, we will not have the country that we all are yearning for. Vulnerable people must be protected, and that's the way it is. I will take us now to go and see some of the comments that people made under this particular breaking news that is coming out now. Cassandra Ugochukwu says, in the meantime, Mr. Senate President, step aside and allow your deputy to preside. You're not expected to be a judge in your own case, and that's the way it should be. You're not expected to be a judge in your own case. Toby Akimbo said the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, in the interest of moral justice, needs to step down pending the conclusion of the sexual harassment investigation. I so move. In same countries, these are the things that you see first, not the one that people are all out there. Today there were people who were out protesting, you know, and supporting Natasha, and there were also people who were out there, you know, protesting that Natasha should apologize. What we should be having is to say, okay, fine, step aside, let investigation be done. And in same countries, you will be sure that investigation will be done with transparency and accountability, and with the need for rule of law to play out. When Nigeria, as we always say it, the cases are always, you know, something else. There is no repair to this relationship, says Grandpa Frank, someone who calls himself Grandpa Frank. He said they are sworn enemies after this, and there's no going back. They will blacklist her from everything political and make sure with their last vote that she doesn't even win local government chairman. I hope she gets the justice she deserves. And this is the time also for Nigerians to stand up. Natasha is not just fighting for herself. Natasha is fighting for the voiceless of this country to have a voice, for the nameless of this country to have a voice, for the faceless of this country to have a voice. If she is defeated, imagine what it will be for others. I see some people who say, oh, don't die in their war, they are all senators, they are all the same. If we keep carrying that mentality, that is the way it will come to you. Tomorrow somebody will say to you, after all, a senator was sexually harassed, nothing happened. Who do you think you are? That's something but we happen. Then we have Chigozie says, Senator Akpoti Uduaghan actions highlight the importance of accountability in leadership. By bringing these allegations to the forefront, she not only advocates for herself, but also for countless others who may feel powerless in similar situations. Her bravery serves as beacon of hope, encouraging victims to speak out and seek justice. And Benjamin Anyanwu says, a truly brave woman. The most painful part is when other much older female colleagues are suppressing her voice because she dared to do what many of them lack the courage to do. And what Natasha Akpoti, Senator Natasha Akpoti is doing is extremely very courageous. And dear Nigerians, let's follow this case.